Hi, my name is Robbie, and I'm here to tell my story of trauma and suffering. A lot of my trauma and suffering has been through loss. I understand a lot of people have gone through, I'm sure, much worse things. But for me, this has been impactful into my life and how it has taught me to grow in and trust and lean on the Lord. So I grew up as an only child. My twin brother passed away when we were in infancy. So it was my first loss. Even though I was too young to remember it, I always knew that I had a little brother that I wish could have been here for me. My father was not around. My mom ended up being a single parent, raising me all by herself. And she was a great mom. She was my best friend. We did everything together. So I ended up being a single mom as well. My son's father passed away when he was a year and a half. So I ended up raising my son as a single mom, but my mom was always there. In 2006, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. She fought a hard battle, and in May 16th of 2006, on her birthday, she lost her battle, and she went home to be with the Lord. It was probably one of the hardest days of my life. And so after that loss, had a little break until 2013 when we actually had a house fire. We had gotten a call at work that our alarm was going off, our smoke alarm. When we arrived there was fire trucks everywhere, and they went to the house, and smoke is bellowing out of the house. And I just kept, praying all the way there that, Lord, please don't let my house be on fire. And when I realized that it really was burning, I was just praying that I had two cats that are my fur babies, that they were going to be saved, but they were not. They had passed in the fire as well. So during that time frame, even though I had been in church, I knew the Lord, did everything I thought I was supposed to do, none of my prayers were answered at that point, and I didn't understand. And I remember being very angry with God during that time frame. My husband just looked at it and said, I can't wait to see what God does with this. Well, that made me even more mad because I didn't understand any of it. And during that time frame, my anger with the Lord was huge. And it was a defining moment of counseling with my pastor at the time to tell me, I want you in church, even if it's mechanical. I don't care if you sit in the pew with your arms crossed and you can be mad, but as long as I'm in church and I'm hearing the word, God can work through that. And I noticed that my heart began to soften, because a defining moment for me was knowing that I fell on my knees in prayer, and my words to God was, God, you're the one thing that I am so mad and angry at, but you're the only one that can get me through it. And so at that moment, I just felt like I knew God was in this whole thing, even though I still didn't understand any of it. In 2021, when COVID was so rampant, my husband and our family had gotten COVID. He actually ended up in the hospital due to his oxygen being so low. He was given all the protocol, and he was, put on a vent. He was in there for 3 weeks. And he passed away July 25th of 2021. So now I have lost my husband. Wasn't expecting any of that, didn't understand. This did not take God by surprise. Nothing takes God by surprise, because he is sovereign and he is good. Through all of that, I end up selling the home, and I end up moving to Oklahoma City. God was good to let me meet someone. He is a widower. His wife died the same year as my husband. We got married a little over a year ago. During the time that we moved to Oklahoma City, my son was living with us at the time. And in March 29th of 2023, my son collapses in our home. And he succumbs to that, and his heart has quit, and he passes away. So within 20 months, I've lost a spouse, and I've lost my one and only child. And that is a mother's worst nightmare. It is something that through all the loss of a grandparent, a parent, even a spouse that you've had a connection with, but that child that you carry for so long, it just rips your heart and your soul. Like a part of you just dies at that point. And so here I am with the loss of my child now. I am in a very dark place. I feel abandoned by God. I don't feel Him at all. Even though through all this other growth, there was a lot of lonely, silent days and nights where I didn't hear God at all. But I also knew God was good, and I knew God was sovereign. And this to not take God by surprise at all. And through all of that, the strength I have gained. Every day is a struggle. Every day I get up, and I miss Him terribly. But every day I know that God is the one who provides my peace, my strength, my comfort. And in Nehemiah 8:10, it talks about, being with the grieved, and that the joy of the Lord is our strength. There is a huge difference between happiness and joy. A lot of times happiness, it comes from our circumstances. We're happier if I had this. I'd be happy if I had that. I'd be happy in this. But in all, happiness is from circumstances and our thoughts, and joy truly comes from within. Joy comes from the Lord. It's the Holy Spirit living within us that gives us that joy, that no matter what we go through, no matter our trauma, no matter our circumstance, no matter our loss or whatever we walk through, if you have a relationship with the Lord and you're a believer and you trust in Him, and He can take our anger, and He is righteous, and He understands us, and He loves us. Never let go of the true relationship with the Lord, because He can get you through anything, any kind of devastation. He can get you through it if you put all of your trust and your hope in Him, because God's promises are true, and He is sovereign, and He loves us with an unconditional love.